Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to be talking about and I'm going to be exposing the Alibaba supplier scams. That's right, the scammers of Alibaba. Before we do, make sure you subscribe, turn on them notifications, turn them on right now. And of course, leave any comments. This is a video which I'm sure you're going to have questions. So make sure you do leave them as we go and I will answer them. Of course, I will answer them. Smash the like button when you like the video, which is now. You hit the like button, right? Okay, cool. So let's go through. I'm gonna really talk about three kind of scams as such, and things that you need to be aware of, and things that can really hurt you as a buyer and as an importer. So the three things which I'm going to discuss in a second, I'm going to talk about what to do if it happens and how to make sure you don't do these things. First is double invoicing, second is payment fraud, and third is poor quality, okay? Now let's go into the first one, double invoicing. Now some of you may know this as something slightly different. But what this basically is a lot of Chinese suppliers they have a very dangerous habit of under-declaring the value of your goods for the government, basically for taxes and duty. And what they can do is, say you have a shipment that is worth £2,000, on the invoice, they will under-declare that value and say it's worth £200, okay? Which means, of course, you have to pay less VAT and less duty on those goods because they're now worth £200, not 2,000. Now, you are not allowed to do that. You're really not allowed to do that, okay? So imagine what that is. That's tax fraud. So you're saying to the government, hey, these goods are coming in, I've paid £2,000 for them, but actually they're only worth 200, so I'm only going to pay a small, tiny amount of tax and duty on those. And so how can you get kind of caught for something like that? Of course, if customs figure that out, you get caught straight away. If they look in your shipment and they realize, hang on a minute, this stuff is worth a hell of a lot more than £200, then you're going to get caught. But also, I was always taught that to expect an audit on your company accounts every 4 years or so, every 3 to 4 years, 3 to 5 years, expect a company audit. And you're going to have, on your company records, you're going to have £2,000 paid to your supplier. You're then going to have an invoice from HMRC for your VAT and your customs duty representing a different value, right? So you're going to have two things that do not match up, and that is a red flag. An accountant, someone that is auditing your books, will notice that. And if they do, again, it's fraudulent. You're not allowed to do that. So if this is how you get around this. It's really nice and easy. If a supplier asks you if you want them to under-declare the value on the invoice, say no. Just don't do it. Even if you think, oh, I'm going to save a lot of money, I'm going to save like 20–30% on my goods. It's not worth it. Don't do it. It's really not in your benefit. It's not in the best interest of you and your company to ever do anything like that. I have a surprising amount of people reach out to me and ask this. The answer is no, guys. Don't do it. You have to be legit. Like, always have your white hat on, not your black hat, okay? For this sort of stuff, do not mess around with the government with taxes. Don't do it. Right, so that one, double invoicing, do not do it. Nice and simple. Okay, the next thing is payment fraud. So this can happen in really a couple of ways, and it can happen from basically hacking, and it can happen from employee theft. So from the hacking side of things, let's say you communicate with your supplier via email, and their email gets hacked. All a hacker has to do is send invoices out with different payment information on it. They either use a proxy company or just hell, they'd put it into their own personal bank account. Would be a bad hacker if they did that, but they would probably use a proxy company, which is basically like a fake company, but it's a way that they can take their payment and just not get caught. So the other way of doing it is very, very similar, but it might be an employee doing exactly the same thing. So an employee, they want to run off and they want to take some money. So what they can do again is change the details on the invoice and get it paid into either their own account or again a proxy company as well. And then they just run off with your money. So that is something that can happen. There are of course things you can do to prevent that from happening. The first of all, I always recommend not using any other third-party application or contact system to get in to speak with your supplier. So WhatsApp, WeChat, Skype, even email. Email's a little bit better, but even email, I would say try not to use them. I only use Alibaba Chat. And as I present myself as Johnny from purchasing, if anyone has a problem with it, I just say my boss doesn't allow me to use my personal devices to communicate. That's it. Everything has to be done through Alibaba. And that just means that, if it's a lot less likely for that to happen, definitely for the hacking side of things, unless they get their Alibaba account hacked. In which case, you have a record with that. Alibaba can help you out. They want to prevent fraud, so they can help you out. If you kind of keep a record of your communication, which is, of course, on Alibaba, any pro forma invoices that you get, any sales agreements, if you have a sales agreement, any photos or videos or anything like that of your products, and transaction records. So those are the things that you kind of want to keep and you want to have a record of. If you're doing it through email, you're doing it through WhatsApp or WeChat, it's just a little bit different. That's a lot easier to get kind of scammed, especially if like someone's phone is lying around and they have WeChat on there, and then their phone gets stolen. You never know what's going to happen. So I just keep it to Alibaba to stay safe. The other thing you're going to have to do is check the invoices, check the payment details. If you're if you're paying your supplier, then of course you can just use the same payment method you've always used. But if for any reason it changes, you need to question it. You need to ask why. You can then even go onto their company website. You can reach out to them directly, and you can just double check that you are speaking to the right person. Now, this is very rare to happen, but it's something that you want to be aware of, because if you smell something fishy, if you think something's not quite right, trust your gut and look into it in more detail, because it's worth asking those few questions and hopefully preventing yourself from getting screwed over. Again, it does happen to people. I personally don't know anyone that this has actually happened to personally, but again, I've read some things online, and it has happened in the past. Fraud does happen. So that's super important. Make sure, guys, you're checking the details of your supplier, making sure the company name that you're actually talking to on Alibaba is the same company name on the invoice. All the bank details are the same. And if ever in doubt, I personally use Alibaba Pay, so I will pay using my debit card, my company debit card, on Alibaba, which means that that's the details that they hold. Now, if I do it through a bank transfer or PayPal, you're opening yourself up to basically getting caught in these little traps. So always check, make sure you're paying the right person. Just do your due diligence when you're paying a lot of money for something. That's just my big advice for that. And to prevent, obviously, from this really happening, just maybe not to prevent, but if it does happen, what can you do? Just make sure you have records of all your communications. I would ideally do that on Alibaba. Any invoices you've been sent at all, any sales agreements if you've got any, or any contracts, and of course any transaction records. Just keep them, and then you can actually submit them to Alibaba as well, and they can look into it as part of their fraud prevention. So the last thing is poor quality, and this is probably more common than maybe not the double invoicing, but it's quite common, because if you have a supplier and they have a really cheap product, you think this is great, I've got great profit margin, it's loads cheaper than the other people. There's probably a quality issue with that supplier. They might even be getting like the rejects from other suppliers, right? The bad quality stuff from other suppliers, and then selling them on cheap. And of course, when you have them delivered into Amazon, if you get high return rates, high defective products, then your listing will just get taken down. Amazon don't allow poor quality stuff to be sold on their platform. And things you can do to prevent this, or hopefully to prevent this, is look for companies that have the kind of gold rating, right? They have sales history, which you can see on Alibaba. They've been on the platform for a while, and if they haven't, you need to make sure you're getting samples. So get some samples, either compare suppliers, so get maybe a couple of samples and compare the quality between the two. And also you can use inspection services. So when your goods are being manufactured, or they've just finished manufacturing, you can have an inspection service go to the factory and again inspect your products. Or alternatively, if you can't afford that, you can ask your supplier to take pictures and videos of your products before they're shipped, and you can kind of you can only look at the quality from doing that. And of course, it depends on the product. But I always have my supplier just take photos and actually videos. I ask them to go around the boxes, to pick one up, to look at them, to have high quality photos, to open the boxes, to look inside, look at the barcodes, look at everything. And I can assess based on the pictures, because that's just what I've chosen to do myself for the products I sell. So those are things you need to be aware of, guys. Double invoicing, payment fraud, poor quality. Of course, every single one of these things can be prevented. A lot of it is just about your due diligence and not rushing into things, and not basically, if you don't check stuff, then you open yourself up to these issues, particularly with the payment fraud side of things. Just check. If you're going to spend money, just check that you're paying the right people. And again, if you're ever not sure, just send the company an email through their website and just see, just make sure and double check that it's the same people you're speaking to. Cool, guys. So hopefully you have enjoyed that and you found it informative and useful. If you have, smash the like button and leave a question if you have any, or leave a comment if you have any questions down below. Particularly if you're an Amazon seller or an importer and you've seen any of these things happen to you or people that you know, I think it'd be really nice if you kind of share that story. Or if you think I've missed anything off and you want to see me look into it and share that for everyone, again, I'd love to hear your thoughts down in the comment section. Hopefully, guys, you are having an amazing Saturday. And of course, make sure you subscribe, turn on those notifications. I'll continue to do the daily uploads for as long as humanly possible. And of course, I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.